Before the silence moved, her heart had already opened. Elyen's rhythm still pulsed within her, a golden thread through the ruins. Now something vast was beginning to stir. There are silences that cradle, and silences that consume. Surya lived between the two. Her chest still pulsed with Elyen's rhythm, yet the ache had not eased. The memory of Elyen being taken by the storm never softened. Some nights, she woke gasping, convinced the threads inside her were still unraveling. She whispered his name into corridors that bent only to dust. No answer ever came, only the brittle echo of her own breath. But silence no longer stayed still. It began to move. Above her, the sky mirrored the ruin below. Clouds split like torn banners. Sunlight fractured into blades that cut across the earth instead of warming it. Stars hung dim and scattered, misaligned like constellations rewritten by an unsteady hand. Even the moon seemed broken, its phases jagged, never quite whole. The heavens had forgotten coherence. Looking up pressed heavily on her heart. If even the sky was shattered, what hope remained for the ground she walked? And yet, when silence pressed hardest against her, she felt something stir in that broken expanse, a presence vast and circling, too immense to name. It first revealed itself beneath a fractured skylight. Dust hung in a shaft of pale light, each particle suspended as if the cosmos itself had frozen. Then a shadow swept across them. Not the outline of a man, not a bird she could name, something vaster. A sweep of wings, impossibly wide, impossibly silent, arcing across the dust, before vanishing into nothing. Her heart stirred, as if remembering flight. Her body leaned upward as though it longed to follow. The dust resettled, the silence closed. A cool current brushed her cheek, as if something vast had passed and chosen not to land. But the imprint seared itself into her mind, proof of movement in a world that had tried to silence itself into death. That night, she dreamed of sound without origin, a single heartbeat, hers, yet not hers, folded through the dark. In its pulse she heard Elyen's breath, not as a voice, but as wind drawn through hollow bone. The rhythm circled, echo meeting echo, until silence itself began to tremble. She woke before dawn, chest glowing faintly beneath her palms. No form appeared, only the knowing. He had never left the field, only changed the way he moved through it. In nights that followed, she felt it again. Currents brushed her shoulders as she walked. A low vibration moved through her sternum. Shadows crossed the edges of her vision, though nothing cast them. Not Elyen's voice as she had known it, but not silence either. Something circled, waiting. The storm struck without warning. Clouds tore apart with thunder that shook the heart of stone. The corridors groaned, ceilings split, dust cascaded in choking torrents. Lightning streaked unnaturally through the ruins, blue, white, and soundless, as if the sky itself were falling. A beam tore loose overhead, plunging toward her. She flinched, but her body shifted on its own. Feet rooted, arms drawn toward her chest, spine aligned in sudden geometry she had never studied, never rehearsed. The beam crashed against stone a breath away. Sparks scattered, but none touched her. Another strike came, then another. Entire walls convulsed. Shards of glass whirled like blades. The ground split open in a jagged line that nearly swallowed her. Her body bent and swayed with each convulsion, moving with a rhythm she did not command. The hum in her chest grew louder, steadier, wings beating inside her ribcage, keeping pace with the storm. For a breathless instant, she understood. This was not survival. It was memory. Her body remembered a language older than fear, older even than form, every movement aligned with something vast threading through her, guiding each motion into geometry. She felt Elyon there, not as rescue, but as rhythm, not above her, but within her bones, instructing them to open where she once braced to break. Lightning split again, yet she did not flinch. Each flash mirrored the pulse inside her chest, the world and her body moving as one design rediscovered. The floor lurched sideways. A lattice of cracks raced toward her like a net flung from the earth itself. She stepped. Once, twice, guided by a rhythm that was not calculation but instinct, and the cracks braided around her footprints instead of through them, as if the stone had remembered how to move without breaking. At the final collapse, the entire chamber seemed to lunge downward, as if the earth would consume her whole. Surya braced for annihilation, but the unseen current lifted her breath, widened her stance, kept her upright as stone fell all around. When at last the shaking subsided, silence rang like a struck bell. Her pulse answered, impossibly calm. This was not Elyon's shield. This was something else. Something inside her body aligning with a greater field. But strength did not banish fear. When dust settled, Surya collapsed to her knees, chest heaving. Her hands shook against the fractured floor. She pressed her palms to her sternum, whispering, "Elyon, was it you? Or something else I cannot see?" No answer came, only the echo of wings, soundless, ungraspable. The silence mocked her. Her throat tightened. Was she inventing these signs? Had grief cracked her mind so deeply that she conjured illusions to keep herself alive? She pressed her forehead to the ground. Hot tears pooled beneath her cheeks. If these wings are real, why will they not show themselves? And if they are not real, how long before I collapse entirely? The ache sharpened, bending her inward. Yet, even in despair, her chest pulled upward. She rose on trembling legs and followed a spiral of broken stairs. Dust clung to her skin, streaked her golden hair, and stung her eyes. Still she climbed. At the top, she found a rooftop split open to the horizon. The air was thin but alive. She stood at the edge, barefoot against stone, and for the first time saw the world spread whole beneath her. Roads cracked like veins. Towers bent like reeds. Portals lay scattered like wounded hearts across the land. From above, the ruin no longer felt endless. It formed a pattern. Fractured, yes, but still a pattern. Her chest loosened. The hum within swelled. It steadied her breath. The way Elyon once had, but carried something new. Perspective. It was as if something exalted had lifted her eyes to see beyond fracture. She breathed with the horizon until the pattern held. Yet longing did not leave her. Tears blurred her vision until the horizon dissolved. She pressed her forehead to her knees, whispering, "Elyon, why can't I reach you?" No answer, only the sweep of unseen wings stirring the air around her. It was not reunion, but it was not emptiness either. Something circled, patient, waiting for her recognition. That night, sleep carried her into a different sky. She soared above the world, though her body bore no wings. Below, the ruins glowed faintly, stitched by threads of light into a larger design. Roads once broken connected into constellations. Towers bent toward each other like arcs of forgotten geometry. Even the shattered portals shimmered, not as dead stone, but as luminous nodes in a vast web. Then her sight lifted higher still. Beyond the ruins, beyond the sky, layers of worlds unfolded, luminous, translucent, interwoven. She saw rivers of sound flowing between them, silent yet singing. Where the rivers crossed, a single pinion of light appeared and was gone. She saw wings vast enough to stretch across horizons, beating not for one world alone, but for many. From above, nothing was chaos. Everything belonged. The scale was vast, yet she was not crushed by it. Even her smallness was part of the design. Necessary, irreplaceable. She woke trembling, tears drying on her cheeks, her chest aching not with despair but with awe. She had glimpsed coherence larger than fear, larger even than longing. Not every fall is an ending. Some collapses are ladders. Not every silence is void. Some silences carry wings. The ground teaches endurance. The sky teaches vision. Both are needed to restore the world. The heart opens the gate. The wings reveal the sky. Together they form the axis that no fracture can erase. When the ground breaks beneath your feet, lift your gaze until pattern returns. When longing threatens to undo you, let wings unseen carry you higher than grief. Surya pressed her palm to her chest. The hum pulsed steady beneath her hand. Not gone, never gone, only lifting her. Her shoulders squared, her breath deepened. For the first time since Elion's severing, she felt not only heart, but body alive with coherence. The fissures beneath her stilled. Dust settled in the air, and above, for the briefest moment, the stars brightened. Constellations trembling as though beginning to align, whispering of a gaze that watched from beyond. Something was watching. It did not hurry her. The silence grew wings and carried her forward. She did not know if the light ahead was memory or dawn, only that she would follow. Next gate, Part 3, The Sacred Stance.